believe it? It's been another week, and we're with James from Tropidelic.
James!
What up, boys? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man.
I had a thought earlier. I've been waiting to share. If my name was James, I'd walk into a room and I'd be like, "The name's James." You ever say that?
No, I haven't.
Name's
but
James.
My
can
last
now.
name is Begin, just like the word Begin. So I get a lot of like, "Let the James begin."
Let the James
shit.
begin.
Yeah.
That's too easy.
That's really good, though, man.
I'll tell you that
Man,
someone
that's
said that to
good.
me like about a year or two ago, and they're like,
Blow
"I
your
bet you get
mind.
that all the time," and I was just like, "Actually, I've never heard that until like right now. Like no one had ever said it to me until like recently," and I was like, "Now I love it."
It's really clever. I love
yeah,
that.
that's really good, dude.
Kudos to your parents for that one.
Yeah. Right.
Dude,
Yeah.
my parents' name is Gary and Sherry, and
Ooh.
they go by Gare Bear and Share Bear.
Those are good like parent names. Like when you can just be
Yeah.
like chilling at
Strong.
home, you'd be like, "Oh, come on, Gare," or "Come on, Share."
All the time.
Gotta- yeah.
Share, don't do this.
Oh, come on, Share.
It really is. It's like when you like cast a couple in a movie or something. It's like they would be called Gary and Sherry, and that's cute, and that's the end of it. Perfect.
Yeah.
I was
Make
just
sure they
talking about the
rhyme.
Norm from Georgia, and like they're brothers, and
Yeah, that's right.
the two singers are Brian and Ryan, and like
That's
love
brutal.
that. I think they're half brothers though, so I don't think that was on purpose. But
Right.
it's just like that's awesome having Brian and Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Hell
was
yeah.
just thinking that would be annoying at like if you were like across the house and you didn't know if they said your name or your brother's. But then I just realized that in my house I grew up and my stepbrother's name's Greg.
You had two Gregs growing
Yeah.
up,
I never knew you. There were two Gregs in your household.
Yeah.
similar age, like.
Yeah, 10 months apart.
Was there a Greg
That's
rivalry?
similar.
Like, where you're like, I'm the better Greg.
No,
No, I'm the better Greg.
Was it spelled the same?
Yeah, but we just cut off a letter. We called him Gregor. So it's Greg and Gregor. So
Nice.
that's how we got through the Brian and Ryan thing.
Nice.
You know, you always know if it was one syllable, I was in trouble.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, hell yeah. Well, for anybody that doesn't know, James is in Tropidelic. What do you do in Trop, dude?
I rap, sing a little bit, and I play the trombone.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a goofy combo.
Dude, I love your guys' like whole thing, man.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Honestly, yeah, it's awesome. I love that you and Derek, the other horn player, you guys have your own miniature show going on. Because it's like a band, they're all in synchronicity with each other. But then you guys, you're all together, but then you and him have your own special thing. You have little dances
Yeah.
together and stuff, and it's like, oh my God, it's such a cool element. It's so cool.
Thank you. No, we take a lot of like pride in that even too. Just like I mean, like our show is just like wild and like
It's very
it's
wild.
cool because it's like
Awesome.
I like to think that there's something for everybody. So it's like if you're like a guitarist, like kind of metalhead guy, like you're gonna love Bobby, our
Yeah, he
guitarist. Or
rips.
if you're just like a goofball trying to dance and get crazy, like you're gonna love me and Derek, like going wild,
Yeah.
kind of whatever. But it's just like I don't know. We took like a lot of time to kind of like make that like live show what it is, and
Totally.
really stoked people like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. I got to watch it like a couple times when we were doing the shows together.
Yeah.
Every time it's like, dude, these guys are
That's
so
I was telling
fucking
Greg
good,
just a couple
man.
minutes ago, like inside, I was like, I came home from that tour with you guys, and like I got in my car and wanted to listen to some music, and I just like froze. I was like, what do I want to listen to? And, like I couldn't think of like anything. And I was like, I'd heard you guys play every night that tour for an hour and a half. So like I liked the songs, whatever, but I heard it like so much. I was
Right.
like, okay, word, but I couldn't think of anything to listen to, and I was just like, all right, but not Cash Out. I just been listening to you guys like literally like I wake up in the morning and I put on Good at Getting By, Pressure, and Weed Man like in my queue
Hell
on my
yeah.
Spotify. And after that third song's over, I know it's time to get out the shower and like start the day. It's like my shower
Yeah,
routine. The past 2
dude.
weeks have been you guys like those three songs. Like when those three songs are over, I get out the shower. Like
Appreciate that, man.
yeah, but it's
Dude,
funny because it's just like I hear all those songs. I'm like, damn, I like this song. Like, I
Right.
like the show, and I get home. I'm like, well, I heard those songs a million times this tour, but I just
Yeah.
couldn't think of anything to listen to. I was like, well, I still fucking like this. Let's go.
Right,
Like I've been
yeah.
jamming you guys hardcore since that.
Dude, it's funny how it goes that way when you like I've had that happen a couple times where like we get off tour with a band and that's what I listen to for the next like little while, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like different like hearing it live and then being like, and now I need like my space with this.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Your time to like
kind
dissect
of like
it.
yeah,
That's even like I heard a couple of your guys' songs in that tour like I hadn't heard before, but like really liked them. And then
Yeah.
like I got home and like listened to them by myself and like was able to like really hear the lyrics and like everything else. And it's like like even songs that like weren't my favorites that you guys had played like became my favorite after I had time with it like by myself.
That's
and, like,
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
because we've always played shows together too, like
Yeah.
Trop and Kash'd Out. But like after this tour, I like actually like dove into your guys' like,
Right.
discography
Yeah.
as opposed to like just like the hits and things, whatever. And like was just like felt like a fucking idiot for taking so long to do so. I was like,
Dude,
damn,
no,
like you
you're
guys fucking
good.
slam. I jam you guys all the time now. Like,
Yo,
That's like so nice.
I love New World, dude.
oh,
I think that song
that's
is
Rhodes,
fucking
bro.
sick.
That's Rhodes'
You guys-
baby. He
It's
did that.
so
that
good,
song
man.
up.
I listen to it all the
Good.
time.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
The new album definitely had like a new direction that was kind of based off of like how New World came about. Like we
Yeah.
made that song. We're like, we want to make more songs like this, and
I think it's
I think it's
great.
one of the best things we ever did was like
Yeah.
taking that step towards a new direction. Like I really fuck with it, and like
Yeah.
everyone else is really happy too.
Yeah. Sunny Days is great, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. I think it's an awesome album, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You
It's
guys-
probably definitely like my proudest musical accomplishment that I've like.
Yeah.
I've liked all this stuff we put out and like I've been proud of it, but like when we did this one and it was like about to come out, I was like, it felt like the first one. Like, you know what I mean? It felt
Right,
like it was
yeah.
like- I think people will look back and be like, that was Tropidelic's first album. Like,
Yeah.
from here on out, kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good feeling. We're like in the process of finishing up writing one, and we've kind of have like that same mentality with the new one. So
Hell yeah. You guys are
yeah,
writing right now?
there.
That's-
Mhm.
Yeah,
We're
going-
always writing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So
Hell yeah.
we're almost done with the new one. We're
Yeah.
actually leaving tomorrow to go to Indian Rocks Beach to finish writing it up. So
Yeah.
No way. That's
yeah,
awesome.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
looking forard to it.
We did a show there a couple of years ago at some random
No
like little
way.
bar in Indian Rocks.
In Indian Rocks?
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was with what's the name of that band? They used to play around Florida a bunch. Bass player had the glasses. They used to have like a real big guy that was a singer and he slapped and then he left and fuck man, I wish I could think of it. They did Reggae Rise Up with us even too. The same year you guys were there with us.
Summer Survivors?
No.
They had a slapping bass player for a while.
Ocean Stone. Brothers
Ocean Stone,
Within?
yeah, we played with
Oh.
Ocean Stone at Indian
Yeah,
Rocks, man.
bam.
Those are
Nice.
good dudes, man. They're cool guys.
Yeah.
they crush that area, dude.
Are
They've
they
been
still
there-
playing?
Yeah, they've been
Yeah,
playing
I
there for
think they
years,
are.
dude. They still
Yeah?
are.
Yeah, I have to holler
Yeah.
at those dudes. I haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah.
nice
That's
dudes.
tight.
Yeah, we played Indian Rocks with those guys. at
Nice.
Some little bar like right across the street from the beach. Like
That's cool.
yeah, there's like 5 people there, but it was cool.
Right,
yeah.
Dude, the place is like tiny, man. I mean, Indian Rocks is like you can walk from one end to the other in like
Yeah.
30 minutes. if
Yeah, I'd never
that,
even
dude.
heard of it like until
Yeah.
we played it. Like
It's tiny, man.
Yeah, it's just another one of those tiny spots in Florida that's like, and this stretches its own place.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
that's what's so cool about touring Florida is like you can come down here for 2 weeks and play a different market every day.
Yeah.
And, like your drive's only 2 hours, less than that even. Like just
Right.
like, touring
Yeah.
Florida is like the best thing. Like
It's
East
K.
Coast touring is the shit. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the
West Coast
cities are
touring
all
is
close
7 hours to
together.
every show. Like
yeah. It's the drives are further, man.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
crazy. Dude, once
For
you're
sure.
in Florida, you're in Florida. You know, it just makes sense
God's
why when people.
country.
It really is, man. Dude, when people tour in Florida, it's usually like, okay, sprinkle in a bunch of dates. Like, there's so much here. It's just like
Yeah.
Texas, how it's like there's so many big places in Texas to go to. you
Right,
know?
yeah, like
Right.
4 or
Florida's the
5
same way.
major cities, and
Yeah, you
then
can spend a
3 or
week in
4 off of
Texas.
those that are just little submarkets you can do. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool, man. So-
Markets and submarkets, band stuff.
yeah, you
Dude.
know, I took a business class in high school.
yeah.
Portfolio.
Submarkets
Market,
101.
marketability.
I went to a submarket today. I got roast beef, bacon on it. It was
Dude.
Jersey Mike's. Actually, it was really good.
Oh hell yeah!
What are ways you stay sane on tour?
Stay sane on tour.
Yeah, how do you stay sane on tour?
Well, kicking it with the boys is obviously just like they know exactly what you're going through. Like
Right.
your best friend might be at home, but like he doesn't get your tour problems. Like he just won't understand whatever.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I haven't been getting good sleep. Me too.
Yeah.
I read a lot on tour. That's definitely like a
Oh, no shit.
yeah. I'm a big reader. So
Nice.
that's like a great passing the time in the van kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I always found just staying busy is like the best way to combat anything. Like if you let your mind wander for too long without like a project, like
Right.
you're gonna start hating on yourself. You're gonna start like whatever. So it's just like
It's true.
if I start to feel any kind of way, I just start put a beat on, start working on something, or just
Yeah.
see what can be done. Go help the merch guy, go help the tour manager, whatever you
Yeah.
can do. Just like keep occupied. But I mean, just the boys and like especially like other bands you're touring with, like with you guys. It's like,
Yeah.
you guys have been on just as many tours as we have. The whole deal. So it's like
It's a bunch
you
of
know
shit.
I can have a conversation with Greg that's like
Right.
a better conversation than anything I've ever had at home. Again, just because like they, as much as they may try, just don't understand like what it's like on the road or whatsoever. But you meet
Totally.
tour friends who you only see once a year, twice a year, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that bond's like
Few
that
times a year,
strong because
man.
it's just like
Uh-huh.
we're doing the same thing. And like I get you and I see you. It doesn't matter if I see you all the time. It's just like
Yeah.
we reconnect with people and shit. It's just like
Yeah.
going through the same thing, you know, like
Yeah.
true peers.
Right. Yeah.
It's true.
Dude, I
love
mean,
that.
even the like, I think about like the even not on the road, like the home time is like pretty much the same too. Everybody's like, all right, well, how long do I have? Like, what can we do in this like time before we go? What are like, what's up with like these 3 possibilities that we have for coming up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like just all of that. I mean,
right. Well, that you take the worst with you all the time. Like you can come home from a tour, but like you said, like you're thinking about the next tour, about
Right.
the writing. Like
yeah.
it's not like you clock out and then you go home. It's
Right,
just like
yeah.
everything you do every day is like, how is this affecting the band? Like,
right.
especially when people start recognizing your stuff. Even like when
Yeah.
you go out, it's like you go out with your friends, just like have a drink or something like that, and someone's just like, "Oh, like you're the dude from Trop, or you're the dude from Kash'd Out," whatever. Just like,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
shit. Like now I'm gonna have to like
Try
put
to
on
get-
that, not
try
put on
to-
a face, not be fake, but just like, okay,
yeah.
people are looking at me, and like, so
Oh,
you have to be
dude.
on your guard all the time. Like, you can't let
Yeah.
that down. It's like you never get to clock out, you know?
Right.
That
yeah.
Chance the Rapper, one of my favorite lyrics he ever said was, "I'm not always working, but I'm never off the clock."
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, exactly it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you never know
shit's
when you're gonna
hard.
get like some crazy message about something. You're like, oh, I have to text for 10 minutes, but it's actually I'm actually working.
Right,
Technically,
right.
you know.
No, I'll be like chilling with my girl and be on my phone. I'm like, yo, I'm like really sorry. I'm like, I'm not scrolling. I'm like sending an email or I'm like
Right,
doing whatever.
yeah,
Because it's just
yeah.
like, especially with time zones with people. Like you got so many
Yeah.
guys or
Dude,
whatever.
what's
It's just like
your
shit.
day?
It's just like, man, like,
Uh-huh.
like why is this dude blowing you up at like 10 o'clock at night? I'm like, well, because he probably just had dinner and was like sending this
Right.
out. And it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you're always on the clock. Always
Yeah.
on the clock.
It's crazy, man.
I'd rather be on that clock than any other clock that I've been on. So.
Right. Yeah. For
Fuck
sure.
yeah. Damn, who am I to bitch? Like, let's go. Like,
What are
Which
some other
job is-
jobs you had?
Oh yeah. What are your jobs, dude? What's your cool job history?
I've probably had like over 15 jobs like since high school, like
Hell yeah.
random shit. Like
Oh,
I've never been
dude.
fired from a job. I've walked out
Impressive.
on a couple, whatever, but I've never been terminated. Did restaurant work for a while. My most truly notable was probably the Cleveland Institute of Art. It's like our art college. It's
Whoa.
very well renowned, and I was a nude model there
No
for
way.
a couple semesters.
Whoa.
I
Yeah.
did not think that was going there.
Did you have your
Yeah.
mustache then?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do the mustache off and on, so I'm sure I did at one point, but
Dude, so there's a few mustaches of you nude in
Yeah, oh,
people's
yeah.
sketchbooks.
Well,
That's
so my buddy
so
Toby, he's a rapper. Actually, he's been on some Trop stuff, whatever. Super badass, like one of my best friends. He had that job, and I was like, "Damn, that's dope."
Give
And,
me
like,
that job,
it was,
dude.
It was $20 an hour, and like I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like I get $20 an hour just to stand there, whatever. So going for the interview, and like the lady tells me what I'm getting paid, which I didn't know, and she like saw my facial expression, and she was just like, "Yeah, well, you know, like we have a hard time like finding people to do this," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." Most people probably aren't very comfortable being completely naked in front of a room
Yeah.
full of college students, like whatever. But so I did that for like 2 semesters, and then I went back for the third one, and I was sitting there, and there's a lot of weird rules that like go along with it. Like none of the students can have a cell phone in the room. Like all kinds of stuff that like
That's fair
they
enough.
can't talk to me unless I start a conversation with them,
Uh-huh.
which kind of sucked because like I'm like just like a chatty guy, and like I'll start a conversation. It's like if you're drawing me for 3 hours, I'm just sitting there like,
Right.
please somebody say something. But so I'm sitting there, and there's this like the students are all in like a circle like around me drawing, and like they would move seats to get like every angle, whatever the hell. And I also had like
How does this-
they would draw my tattoos and shit too, which is like ridiculous. But so I'm sitting there, and this girl in front of me just goes like, "Hey, like, do you go to school here?" And I was like, "No." And then she's like, "Do you go to school around here?" And I was like, "No." And then she goes, "Are you in Tropidelic?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she just let out this like shriek, and then the teacher just stands up and is like, "What's going on?" Naked guy in the room, somebody's screaming like, "What the hell?" And then she's like asking the girl, the teacher, like what's up, what's up? And she just like couldn't even like say anything. And then the girl next to her was like, "I guess he's in like a band that she likes or something." Like nobody else got it except for this chick in the room.
Yeah.
So I got taken down to like the office after the whole thing, and they told me that I couldn't be a model anymore because like somebody had like recognized me
Right.
for like whatever. It's like, which I totally get, but that was a sick job. That was a sick job.
Wow.
You should have said no. You
yeah,
had so many no's in front of it. Like that would have been the first no. No.
I probably should have.
Not
yeah.
me.
There's the ego talking. I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, I'm in Tropidelic.
Yeah, you were
Lost
like,
the fucking job.
yeah, you're like, oh, I have a show in 2 weeks. You know, I'm at this place. You know,
You
promote.
take it?
promote.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, man, that's
Did you
wild.
were you
dude.
able to see the drawings of them?
Yeah, so like when they would go on like
Whoa!
lunch or whatever, I could like go look at like what they were drawing and shit. And I actually got like so they would like do different parts of my body in different classes for like today we're working on drawing hands, today we're working on drawing this, like or full figures, whatever the hell. But I was like in their sketchbooks, like I wasn't like one of their pieces that they were doing. They're practicing drawing bodies today, so they would draw mine or whoever else was in there.
Right.
So I'd walk around like on the break and like look at it and like, you know, some of those kids were amazing. Like they're at art college, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, again, it was just a sketch for them. So a couple of them that were like super tight, I was like, yo, like, what are you going to do with this? And they were just like, I mean, it's just like in my sketchbook, whatever. I was like, yo, like, I'll give you like $50 or whatever. Cause I didn't want to like host some kid on his art, whatever.
Right.
the hell.
Yeah.
But the couple of people that I asked for the drawing were just like, oh, dude, like, just take it, whatever. And then that year for Christmas, I gave a couple of my homies just like incredibly well done nude portraits of myself, like, which was awesome.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I really fuck with art like a lot. Like I'm not good at it at all. Like I can't draw, can't paint, can't nothing. But it's like, so like on a more serious tip
paint
with
with
that,
words.
You are the art.
Thank you, boys. Gas me up. But it was cool because like I really like art and like I like art history a lot.
Hell yeah.
But I could never like contribute to that world just because it just wasn't my thing, whatever.
Right.
So it's like, even though it was like a funny job and I was getting paid, whatever, it's like I got to somehow contribute to somebody who's working on their art. Like
Yeah.
I got to like get a hand in that world and like be a part of that and like
For
involve
sure.
myself like in the art world. As like goofy as that sounds, like I kind of took like a satisfaction in that. It was like,
Yeah.
I think so. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, that is
cool job.
bro.
It was funny, man. Like it was
Just cool
funny.
job.
Like I'll tell you though, like some days like you wake up and like when you have a normal job and you're just like, man, fuck, like I don't want to go to work today.
Uh-huh.
But that shit hits different when you're walking. You're like, man, I don't want to go to work today, and I have to take off all of my fucking clothes and just stand there for 6 hours. Well, like,
Is that how long you would have to stand there?
well, so I'd go in for like the duration of the class, and like so when it started off, like earlier in the semester, they were doing like quick drawings. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you're just gonna draw like the shape of his body. So I'd stand on this like little thing, and every 30 seconds they'd hit like a bell or something, and I would have to change my position to whatever I wanted. So I just had to like make up all these poses. So they'd
Yeah.
sit there and for 30 seconds they'd draw the shape of what I was in. Bell would ding, they'd flip the page and draw the next shape I was in, just to like get practice like doing that.
Right.
And then as the semester went on, it'd be like, okay, today we're gonna draw his hands or whatever the hell. So I'd sit there with like just my hands in the same spot for a while. And then towards the end, when they were doing full body, like we're actually drawing this dude or painting this dude,
Yeah.
I'd pick a position. I'd sit there for like a half hour or so in that exact same position. I'd get like a 5 or 10 minute break, go back, we'd do lunch, and then same thing. So it kind of like went
Yeah.
on depending what the class was doing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a trip, man. It was like
That's bizarre.
it was a
man.
trip, man. It was a cool game. I love telling people that I did that. It's just
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
Like it's such a funny job
That's
to have had.
crazy.
Like, you know.
I imagine.
Would you weren't afraid about boners or anything? You ever get some close calls?
I never did, but my buddy Toby, like I said, who got me the job, got really close, and
Whoa.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind me telling this.
That's great. Thank
he
you,
had,
Toby.
Like, he was doing some like bucking like before he like went into work. And,
Oh,
like,
he was.
and then like
That's the job you don't want to
right. And
bang
then he
before.
was like, "Oh God, like, I have
right?
to go to work," and then he left, and then like he was in a seated position.
Oh my god.
And he said like he kind of just was able to just kind of like hold it down for whatever, but he got pretty close to. It's super non-sexual though. It's
Right,
like
yeah.
getting
Yeah.
a boner in there. But, like I would have to have like tried to get a boner while I was doing
Right.
it. It's just
Gotcha.
like, and like even like they were like just college students, like they were pro as fuck. Like no one's like dude gets naked on stage. None of them were like, oh, they're just like, okay,
Right.
we're drawing this dude today. It was like,
Yeah.
it was nothing like there was no chance of that going on unless I had like given it an effort to be like, can I arouse myself in front of this class? Which I did not do. I'm looking at all the cameras saying that I did not do that. So
That would have been
Oh,
a fun
man.
game though, just to see if he could.
yeah.
Oh, look, that's a good game.
Yes,
It's
I did,
like,
I did
see,
that. I did
her
restaurants.
drawing it's a little shorter, but see hers. This was
The continuity's all
she
off.
got the dick a little later in class.
We came back from lunch break and I think his penis got smaller.
Did you ever go in like and you forget to shower and you're like, oh shit, my balls smell like balls today?
Nothing like that comes to mind exactly, but I feel like I shouldn't say this. Maybe we'll revisit later if I want to.
No, you
want
should
it out,
tell
but,
us. I want you to open your
my
heart
buddy
to us.
picked me up because he was like borrowing my car, and I was like staying out at a lady that I was with at the time's house.
Uh-huh.
And he came and picked me up, and I went into work that day, and I was just hungover as shit, and like had to take off my shirt, and I just had like scratches just like all over my back. I had to like do turns for like the poses, and I was just like, oh my god, just horrified, just like couldn't believe it, just like fuck,
Wow.
yeah,
Damn,
My
that's
roommate's
fucking
cat,
funny.
man.
yeah,
Won't
man,
leave
it
me
was
alone.
This
It was a
guy
goofy gig, man. Yeah, I did that. I did restaurants for a while, which I fucking hate and will never go back to. Like,
do any fast
all the love to my service industry people. Like,
It's a real job.
dude,
It's a hard
you're
job.
a rare breed to handle that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I made it as long as I did. It's a wild job. Any position in a restaurant is just like insane.
Dude, I think people should tip fast food workers because like fast food workers deal with the worst fucking pieces of shit ever.
Yeah, and they're going harder than like the.
Yeah.
you know, like,
I think
they're
they're
going
going
quick
harder
at least.
too.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's probably not as good, obviously, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I never did. Well, I did Chipotle actually.
You
So
did
that-
Chipotle?
really?
Yeah, I was at Chipotle. Actually, so Pags,
cool.
our bassist,
Mhm.
opened a tattoo shop a couple years ago in Cleveland. And
Damn,
it's
this you
close-
keep every time you tell me about Pags, he's like a jack of all trades.
Dude,
He
he's a G,
becomes
man. Like,
Crazy.
I'm not even gonna say like jack of all trades because like the following to that is master of none. Like he's mastered them all. Like the dude's just good at everything. So we had a tattoo shop open for a while, and why were we just talking about that? Why did we just What's that?
Chipotle.
Chipotle? Yeah.
Chipotle.
So this dude comes in to get a tattoo because he was a fan of the band. It was called the Trop Shop for a little
Uh-huh.
bit. So dude was like
Cool.
stoked. He comes in, gets a tattoo, and he's just like, "Yo, like, I live down the street, and like, I work at the Chipotle there. I'm the general manager. Like, if any of you guys need jobs, like when you're home, like, holler at me."
That's tight.
And we were just like, "Yo, we all need a job, whatever." It's
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 of us went and worked there at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So like, you'd walk into Chipotle, and like the guy that gives you the bowl was in Trop. The guy that gave you the beans and the rice was in Trop. I was
Oh
the
my
salsa guy.
God.
I was in Trop, and the cashier was our homie Sparks, who might as well be in
Oh
Trop.
my
Like,
God.
fucking, so.
so when like would fans come in and be like,
yeah, so
Pinto
like,
beans?
it wasn't as like crazy like as it would be like now if we were doing that, but like it
Right.
definitely like would happen where it'd be like it was almost kind of embarrassing because it's just like somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh my
Right.
god, like you're my favorite band," and I'd be like, "Yeah, but I also work at Chipotle. Like,
Right. Yeah.
you want fries with that? Like whatever the hell it
Yeah.
was, you know." But so we were doing that for a while, but that was tight because we'd go on tour and come back, and then our homie Julian would just text us and be like, "Yo, like, when are you guys working this week?" And I'd be like, "Well, I'll do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I guess I'll do Wednesday. I just pick my schedule every week,
Right,
whatever."
yeah.
Like, he was tight, cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time we came to Orlando with the band, we were all working there, and we called him and we're like, "Yo, we're outside this Chipotle in this town," and then he gave them a ring and was just like, "Yo, my name is Julian. I'm the manager of this store number, whatever. And some of my employees are there on tour, and they need some food. Like, can you hook it up?" And like, we went in, we all got free Chipotle.
"Oh,
So like while we were working there, he would do that all the time. So like anytime we were in, we
Oh.
would get free Chipotle just because they would like
That's dope.
hook the
dude.
homies up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Chipotle's a dope company for real. They're about what they say they're about. Like
That's cool.
I didn't like working there, but like they're good to their people. I wouldn't say a bad word about Chipotle. You know,
Yeah.
big fan,
That's
big
awesome.
fan.
Yeah.
I knew a metal band where all the teammates, all the bandmates would work at Jimmy John's when they're back. So they all had Jimmy John logos tattooed on them.
Hell yeah,
And
that's awesome.
I think that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's badass. There's a couple like I'm sure you guys have come across them, just like restaurants and shit like on tour that like they feed bands like all the time.
Yeah.
Like, no
Yeah,
places in Colorado, like a
about 'em.
taco shop I went
Yeah,
to. Like, if you're a band and you're on tour, like you get free food. Like,
Oh, we got a spot in Colorado.
yeah, what you got?
We have a cute.
Frijoles.
Yeah, it's a Cuban place, dude. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, frijoles.
So
Yeah,
like
it's
Cuban
the shit.
coffee
It's
is
so
like
Oh, it's
good.
so good.
it's the strongest coffee.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
dude, we like one time we went there and we are like, we don't know if they're gonna remember us. We show up and they had a buffet and they're like, "Oh, Kash'd Out, what's up? Help yourself." And it was like, oh my goodness.
hell yeah.
Oh,
And
so
Chiba Hut
generous.
too. Chiba Hut treats us really well.
Chiba Hut. I
That's
know
right,
that
yeah.
I've been there one time when we were here, but every time I come back, everyone's just like, "Did you go to Chiba Hut?" And like, I have to go back. I
Well,
have to
they
go
only
back.
have one right now in St. Augustine, and then they're opening up a couple places in Orlando very soon.
Didn't
Yeah,
y'all
they're
get that in
mainly, like-
Jacksonville though? Wasn't that?
So they they shut down the St. Augustine store early to come to our show. And
No
bring
shit.
and bring it to Jacksonville. Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
how
It was fun.
That's so
awesome
tight.
they are.
Yeah,
I
they're
love this
awesome.
sandwich.
They're a pretty cool company. But dude, it's like, I mean, dude, I know you guys know, like, it makes such a difference to not be like eating McDonald's every day,
Oh
you
my
know, and to
God,
have
yeah.
places like even Chipotle. It's like at least feels like, oh, at least this is not
You're eating
deep
beans.
fried
Yeah,
and
exactly,
you know,
man. Yeah, well,
just, like,
that's what
total
kills you on the road
garbage.
too. Just like not even like health wise, but like money wise. Like if you're
right?
buying fast food every day or getting whatever, it's like you're feeling like shit. You're spending all your bread, and you're just like, God damn. It's like people like bring us like food to shows, like you said, like Chiba or whatever. Like
That's the
a couple
shit.
restaurants that
Yeah.
we like know like around like they'll come to your show and they're like, "Yo, we're bringing you guys food." Like people don't even like realize like how like amazing of a gesture that is. Like they're
Right.
doing it to be nice because they fuck with you, but like I always try and like really like tell them like how awesome it was that they did that. Like when I found out there's gonna be food at the show that somebody's bringing it, like it changes my day. Like on the road,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
God damn, like someone made us food. Like I don't
It's
have to
amazing.
Yeah,
It
man.
means
I-
you're saving a meal, you're saving money,
Mhm.
and that matters significantly because a lot of bands are touring on fast food budget.
Right, you're not
Literally.
Yeah.
getting a per diem. You're not getting
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all coming out of you, especially like tours that won't have hospitality or stuff even too. It's just like
Mhm.
you know, you're buying your waters before you go into the venue because you know you're gonna need them for the stage. Like
Yeah.
any of those little things that people do, just like I feel like we thank them like profusely and like
Totally.
they still just like don't get like how thankful we are.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, even people that let you stay at their house like when you're on the road.
The
like, it's just,
nicest,
like,
man. We talk about that
angels.
so
Dude,
much,
like,
dude.
Oh my god, like
I was just
unbelievable.
gonna say that now we got to tell people you don't have to put weed in the food. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
put-
happy just to have the
Put
food.
food in the food.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what's funny too. Someone will show up with like some like desserts or bakery and like they'll hand it to you and you have to like triple check like
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
like I assume
Yeah.
there is most of the time because usually there fucking is like
Right.
especially in the reggae world, you know, everyone's fucking pulling
Yeah.
up with the
Always,
bag.
dude.
Yeah,
If it's
so
a
all the-
dessert,
happens to us all
it's
the time.
questionable.
yeah,
for
if it's a
sure.
Right.
dessert, it's most definitely
Do you
probably.
ever run into those situations, Jay?
Yeah. So I'm sober, and so every once in a while there will be.
Oh, you remember Cali Roots and they had that one?
It wasn't Cali Roots. I don't remember what festival it was, but they had like so it was like the backstage food, and it was like this taco guy was set up, and I just like had this feeling. I was like, "Does any of this have weed in it?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, oh, okay, all right. I guess I'm good then. And it's like
Goddamn,
you
it's-
never know, man, because they can put it in like in everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
What a
so
world.
There's weed
it's
butter.
wild, man. What a time to be alive.
Dude,
dude.
there was a time when I had like a tincture. I was really tanking up. I was saying tanking it up. Tinkerbell over here. And I would tank the little LaCroix we have. And Jackson's favorite drinks is LaCroix. So there was a time when I tanked up a bunch of them. Jackson's like, I can't drink any of these. I don't know which
You
are the
did not.
landmines or not. And I'm like, I'm just baked Joey on tour like, I don't know either.
Y'all fuck with the LaCroix?
Yeah,
We're
We
man.
love
LaCroix
the LaCroix
guys.
too.
Fuck
That's
yeah,
on our
dude.
rider.
What's
as
your
well.
top what's
Yeah.
your top 2 flavors, man?
Berry for
Ooh,
sure.
good
Interesting.
choice. Good
Okay.
choice.
And then the one that looks like a Sprite can.
Key lime?
Key
must
lime
be
or
It's
lime.
just the green can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Key
Yeah.
lime and lime, superior flavors.
Yeah.
They're-
Good picks.
Hell yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
lions of the
Solid
LaCroix
hydration.
world.
Speaking
Uh-huh.
of seltzers.
I'm
Craving
happy,
a
I'm
Topo
happy about
Chico,
the
but I have to
alcohol
get
water
up.
thing.
What's that?
The alcohol water,
Oh,
like
big
the
fan.
seltzer water. I'm like that makes a lot more sense than beer. Like, just give me the booze. Just give me the booze and fucking water. Honestly,
I saw
That's
this
what I'm
meme
looking
and
for.
it was something like drinking a White Claw tastes like TV static while somebody screams the name of a fruit from the other room.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how it is with like LaCroix, where it's like it's the essence of the flavor. And what's the essence of a flavor? It's like the shadow of a flavor, like remembering a flavor.
there was a strawberry in the room while we.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You wave it over the cup, and you're like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the essence.
Man, so dude, what run were you guys on? Because we saw you guys in Portland right before COVID.
It was in March, even. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
March.
that's right.
What run were you guys on? Was that
So we had
311?
just finished 6 weeks with Badfish, which
Mhm.
ended in San
That's
Diego.
fucking
And
tight.
then we
That's
had-
probably fun.
Oh, yeah, those are our boys, man. Fucking,
Yeah, they're awesome.
The first like real tour I went on was with Badfish. They've been looking out for Trop like since we
Yeah.
started. Like, so we did 6 weeks with them. It ended in San Diego, and then we had 2 or 3 days off, and we drove from San Diego to Portland to start a couple shows with 311. So that's why we were there. with
Okay,
them, 'cause
gotcha.
We did a couple shows with them up in that region, and then went to Vegas for 311 day with them, and then that was the end of the tour.
Yeah, gotcha.
fucking- yeah.
So and then that was so you guys got home. How much time was it when you guys were home before it was like, oh shit? Because like I remember
So
the
it was
day
getting
where we were
serious
like,
on
oh
the way
wow.
back. Like,
Yeah.
we're realizing like all these other bands are canceling tours and doing all this stuff,
Uh-huh.
whatever. And then I think it was like either the day we got back, which was like March, like 13th or 14th or something. Like the day after we got back, it was like lockdown, can't leave your house, non-essential businesses are closing, like
Yeah.
whatever. So that like kind of came.
So like
right
you
into
guys
that.
snuck right under there too. Then
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, dude,
yeah.
it's
man.
crazy, man. Yeah, I remember we were driving home and we were like, oh shit, the NBA like
Yeah.
canceled the rest of their season.
Dude,
and
straight,
that's
the
when I was
NBA
like,
was the big one for all of us. I
yeah.
feel like it was like when
Yeah.
we found out the NBA canceled the season, we're like, Oh,
yeah,
shit!
it's
Like,
serious.
okay, like, yeah,
Fucking
Yeah.
done.
right.
Because like at first when, you know, like people were texting like, and it would just be like, oh, you know, this thing is canceled, and it would be like, you know, whatever tour from some huge artist. It's like, well, that's not gonna affect us. No
Right,
way,
yeah.
you know. And then, you know, little by little, it's like, all right, well, that's sort of more in the vicinity, and they canceled, and
Mhm.
and then they just canceled, and so like we definitely need to cancel.
Right, yeah,
you know, it's wild. Luckily, we didn't have like a couple shows, maybe like one-offs that we had to cancel, but other than like
We
festivals.
were like, I remember, I think when we came back from that tour, we like planned on having some time to chill, you know. So like it kind of was. Perfect.
we had like a couple weeks. I mean, like as far as the whole thing goes, like we got pretty lucky with the timing of it.
yeah.
You know,
So
Honestly.
we had done like 8 weeks, like I just said. Or we did the
Yeah.
6 with Badfish, the 2 with 311, and then we came home. We were supposed to have 4 days off and then go out for another 8 weeks. And like I remember, like on the
Nice.
way home from that,
It's a real
like
tour.
before shit was getting canceled, I was like, oh my god, like how am I gonna go back on the road? I was losing my mind. I was just
Yeah.
like, I can't
Oh,
go back
yeah?
out for another 8 weeks. I was like, just freaking out, and
Yeah.
like I feel like I just like wished too hard to come home, and then like couldn't leave. Like, you know what I mean? Then I
Right.
started losing my mind again because I couldn't leave, and it was
Yeah.
just like, it's like, damn it, will I ever be happy? Like, what do I want? What do I want? Like,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Dude, wasn't it a trip to like? Because like I remember for us when we all adjusted into like, so that, I guess this is what it would be like if we weren't on tour, if touring wasn't like a huge part of our lives.
yeah.
Like, do you
my
remember like
goodness.
kind of like slipping into that sort of like mindset and
Yeah.
realization?
For sure. So like, I started touring with Trop when I was 18 or 19. So it's like my like entire adult life has been like coming home from tours, and like, and we don't have like the
That's
luxury yet
fucking
of like
awesome.
going out for 2 months and then coming home for 3 and then going
Mhm.
on another big tour. Like we would go out for a month and a half or something, have a weekend off. Then it was like, okay, now we're doing this weekend here, this following weekend here, following
Yeah.
weekend here, and then another like 3-4 week tour, or whatever.
Right.
So after like a month went by, like in our band group chat, somebody put in like, yo, like after a month, like this is the longest we've consecutively been home in 7 years. And I was just like,
Wow.
oh my God, like I haven't like lived at my house for a month straight in 7 years.
Yeah.
And like, I was like really excited about it at first. It was good to see everybody, like family,
Uh-huh.
dog, everybody. I was like, this is awesome. Happy to be home. And then like, it kind of got to that thing where I was just like, damn, like, cause you come home and it's like a honeymoon. Everyone's excited to see you. Like, you
Yeah.
party, you have fun with your
the
friends.
those
And
first
then like,
few days, yeah.
after like a month of that, I was just like, and my friends are awesome and great, and they're always like
Mhm.
productive and doing things. But I was like, a lot of other things, I was just like, oh, these things aren't changing. Like, that's always here and it stays here.
Right.
And I was forced to like stay in that for a while, and like it kind of like took like a toll on like my mental shit. Where it's just
Sure.
like, I'm like lucky to escape all the time and go on these tours to like
Yeah.
not think about a lot of stuff at home.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So it was like I
Yeah.
had to deal with a lot of things that like I normally get to avoid because I'm not there. So it was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, like it sounds shitty. Like, you know, but it's
Yeah.
just like a lot of things
Dude.
had to like happen that were just like,
Preaching to the choir, dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
I
it's
was like
funny.
looking. I was like, man, I put a lot of miles on my car this year.
Yeah.
Because
right.
normally it's like, you know, you put like nothing on your car because you're
Yeah,
never
yeah.
home. You know, yeah,
Crazy.
Dude, it's
all that
funny.
kind of little stuff you don't think about.
Dude, I would
Mhm.
Uber like between tours, which is like one of the most perfect jobs to have. And like between tours, I would stack so many miles on my car, and it'd be like every few tours, I'd be like, I'd come home, I'm like, oh, another 10,000 miles on my car. Okay, oh shit, another 10. Fuck, and I would just run into the ground, dude.
I did the Uber Eats for a little bit when we would come home from
Nice.
tour. That was
Yeah.
a good gig too. Just like pick your own
Solid.
schedule.
Easy as shit.
Yeah.
Easy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's the
man,
flexibility.
it's awesome hearing you talk about it because it's like everything you're saying. It's like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you saying
Totally.
like
That's
you did
what he
those
was saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's just like the
yeah.
tour
know.
friends, man.
It's
It's just like
crazy.
because I mean, like I haven't even
Oh,
talked to any of you
like
guys
tour
since that
fatigue and
last
shit.
tour. But it's like Greg walked through the house earlier. I was just like, "Yo, Greg," and it's just like, you know, he was up to the
Totally.
same shit I was up to when I was home from tour, and we were on
Right.
this, like, you know, it's just all like,
yeah.
you know,
There's a
y'all
fraternity,
get
you
me.
know?
Yeah.
Fraternity. We should get some jackets.
It really is a fraternity. Jank 'em, dude. Jank up.
Dude, so man, so what did you guys like have any plans for coming up, or I know everything's like so tentative.
Yeah, I mean nothing,
Yeah, honestly.
nothing booked right now.
Yeah.
So we just been in the studio.
Right.
So just
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
trying to use the time as best we can. So
Same.
it's been good. It's
Yeah.
cool too because we never had that much time in the studio. Anyway, like we would just like write songs, come home, get in the studio, record them, be
Mhm.
back on tour. Even
Right.
touring in between, tracking the whole thing. So it was just like
Yeah.
this one we got to sit down, write it, go in, record it, and like take
Yeah.
the time and like, which is why I think it came out like,
Dude,
at least in
makes
our eyes, like the
such a
best
big
one we've
difference.
done, like because like we all wrote it together and like took the time to make it how we wanted it, not like
Mhm.
we have to finish this by this day so we can get back on the road. It was just like
Mhm.
totally just like organic and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
really
better.
excited for
Yeah.
the new wave of music.
I mean,
Because for that
everybody.
reason, everyone's in that position, and
Yeah.
everyone
Mhm.
is just gonna level up on the music side. Because those who've been touring, you can't. You're like, make a whole album in 2 weeks,
Right.
right.
and all you have is you start with like, oh, we have 4 demos, half written demos.
Marshall has a cool jam he does during sound check. Well, let's stretch that into a song.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm stoked that every band gets that opportunity to just hone in on their sound, and I think what comes out of it on everything from every band, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm
What-
stoked for that.
Hell yeah, I feel
Yeah.
the same way.
What are some of your most memorable shows?
I don't know if it's changed like my favorite show because I just haven't like really thought about that in a while, I guess. But for a
Mhm.
while, my favorite show that I ever played was Reggae Rise Up
Mhm.
2018, whatever year we were there together.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Dude, that was an awesome
That
day.
was
awesome
like
show for
we were
us,
playing just
too.
right on the water, just people fucking just all the way back. Like that
Yeah.
was like that was a big deal for me. I don't know. That was
Yeah.
just like that was
Nice.
awesome.
so fun, dude.
Yeah. Aside from that,
Is that the year that we had that one crowd shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same
just-
year.
Yep.
Amazing. Yeah.
hell
it was
yeah,
a-
that was such a
fun
god, like
weekend, man.
such a dope festival too. Just like
Yeah,
Dude,
dude.
I saw
Yeah.
Soja play, and they blew my mind. Then I saw Damian Marley play.
dude,
And
that was my
I-
thing.
yeah.
Seeing Dave Marsh, like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
a
Yeah,
legend.
he's
crazy.
real
Like, I
legend.
was like, I'm in the same building as this guy. I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Like, it's
honestly,
so wild. Like,
honestly, dude.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of those big festivals are always cool. Just like, I mean, the crowds are always dope, and like, hospitality's sweet, like all kinds of shit.
I love.
I don't know.
I always love like when we get snuck onto like a more alternative festival or radio festival.
Yeah.
Where you like where we get to see like we did one festival where they had like Weezer, Cage the Elephant, and
Hell
like
yeah.
Portugal the Man playing, and I was like, I finally got to do a festival where I get to listen to some shit where I tell my friends at home and they get to be like, yeah,
I know that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I tell my friends, I'm like, we did a show with they're like, oh, who's that? And I'm like, fuck you guys, you don't understand. But then I'm like, Portugal the Man, and they're like, I feel it still. I feel it still.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch at that festival. I was like, we could have watched Weezer from the stage, and I really wanted to just because, but I knew that like I needed to hear it, because you can't hear it from the stage. You
Yeah.
hear just drums,
Yeah. Right.
and like I really wanted to, so I watched from the crowd, even though I had access to the stage.
Yeah.
They're my favorite band. I fucking love.
That's just
Weezer.
fun. Like at shows too.
They're
Like
good.
I'll take like my friends backstage or stuff. Who, like don't get to do that a lot, and like
Uh-huh.
they're just so stoked because they're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm backstage, like the House of Blues, like whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. Just doing that for like I get stoked.
Yeah.
Doing, like
Yeah.
like getting to share that with somebody.
Totally.
And the show will start, and like they're stoked to
beautiful
watch it from
thing.
the stage. I was like, you don't want to be up here. This is not the place to watch
Right.
the show.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
get your Instagram story up here, but
Yeah.
then like go hear it because
Yeah.
you're not gonna hear it back here. We all got the ears and shit. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing like no
A
mix.
lot of people have dedicated their entire day to making sure that area sounds good. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right,
Like
right.
not over here.
right,
You know?
right.
Yeah. Dude, especially with like the way everything is now with like Kempers and all this stuff. It's like
There's even less shit on
the
stage.
only thing on stage you hear is drums. You
Right,
know? Yeah.
Exactly. The 311 cruise too was like an unbelievable experience. Like
Mhm.
favorite show wise. Like we did a couple on there, but actually one of them, like the cruise stopped in Belize, and like people could like get off and
Oh,
walk around
shit.
like the little like island they have, whatever. And we did a show on that island while people were walking around, and that was like
Yo.
a holy shit, I'm playing in Belize like kind of moment. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like crazy. Like I remember that specifically too, because like I got on that cruise ship and like it was like in the middle of a tour, and then when we got off, we had like a rest of a tour to finish, and like
Uh-huh.
I just didn't have any money, like no money, like a
Right.
couple bucks or whatever. I remember just like getting on that cruise ship and being like, damn, like I'm VIP everything, like all the food's taken care of, like whatever the hell, like. And then all of a sudden I was standing on the beach in Belize, like drinking a free bottle of Jameson. It's like I have no money, and I'm in Belize, like fucking like far now. I was like, this is crazy, like you know what I mean, like.
We call that good at getting by.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I was just telling you, man,
Really
dude, that
is.
song, man, like Love that song. Like,
Dude, when Greg first sent that song to Yasad, and he was like, "What do you think?" Yasad was like, "I heard the Chef Boyardee line, and that's all I thought about for the rest of the song. So I don't know yet. I gotta listen to it again."
well, that's just like I like that song so much too, just because like, I mean, a lot of people can relate to that, but like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like I just like have that to an art where it's just like I feel like I mean, it's been really sad like with the pandemic and stuff, like people losing jobs or like
Right.
not getting money, whatever. It's just like, but I kind of felt like. Damn, like
Touring's already a
I've gone
pandemic.
3 months without a paycheck before.
We just
Like,
leveled
I'm
the playing
saying-
field.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody came down to my level. It's like I thrive down here. Like it's just like let me show you. Like we're gonna go and get continental breakfast at this place that we're now staying. It's like we're gonna eat. We're going whatever. It's
We're
just
gonna
like,
eat, fam.
yeah, exactly. It's just like like that's where I thrive. Like
Yeah.
it's like I can do that. Like I can.
Oh, so funny.
I'm very good at getting by. Like I love that
Shoot.
song, man. Like I was telling you inside, it's like that's a great song. That and Pressure. Oh my god,
Yeah.
guys!
Thanks, dude.
I'd heard that song before, but when I heard you guys play it live, I was just like, "Holy shit!" And like I listen to that song every morning. I just said like, "Pressure" is like that's a fucking jam.
That's
yo.
so
Like,
awesome.
I love
It
that
was a good
song.
time
like,
with that one, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Yeah, we
It's
know
fun
it's
to
a good
sing,
one.
too.
It's a good one live. It's
Hell
got
yeah,
that
man!
power. We
And you
need
guys
to
with the
have
horns on
subs.
this tour too, like
Dude,
Yeah,
that was
game changer
fun
too,
because
man.
like yeah, man, it makes such a difference of it's like there's songs that you play however many times, 1,000, and
Yeah.
then you like change one little thing or like bring in a different guy or
Yeah.
I mean in this case like two guys to add this entirely different like sonic layer that
Yeah.
we've never had on these songs we've played
and
1,000
then you fall in love
times.
with it again.
Yeah.
You're just like, damn,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
It's
oh,
literally
man.
icing on the cake. I remember whenever they hit, it's Yes I. Whenever they hit that one part in the intro of Yes I, and it's like a sustained note,
Uh-huh.
and every time I'm just like, oh
yeah, baby.
Dude, the brass
Feels
makes a
good.
Hell
a
yeah.
big
Plus, it just makes
difference.
people like look too. Like if there's a band on stage and you're walking by, you're like, oh, band, they sound good, cool, whatever. But like you walk past and there's like somebody like wailing on a saxophone or on
Right.
a trumpet or something.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh damn! Like a lot of people like outside the scene and stuff like don't see that all the time. So it's like
Right.
it catches people's eyes and like draws them in a little bit. Like
Totally.
Gets
Yeah.
him every time.
Dude, so how'd
Easy
you
get.
end up playing trumpet?
oh, I do the trombone,
Trombone.
actually. But,
Sorry,
oh, you're
trombone.
fine,
My
you're
bad,
fine.
man.
So I was in like a ska punk band that used
Uh-huh.
to open for Trop all the time back in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like when I was in high school. And Cleveland still is just like metal and rap. Like that's like our local scene. Like
Yeah.
everything that's what we have. Like so I had like a cousin in a band that did very well for a while, and he would let my band open for them. Like when I was in high school and stuff, at like these
Uh-huh.
like big local shows they would play. But they were like these huge like metal fest like weekend long things. Then we'd have this like ska band in the middle, which was us. But like, so it's totally bizarre. But like a lot of people like fucked with it because they were like older than us at the time too. So they'd be like,
Right.
oh, like you guys remind me of like high school or like college and shit, whatever. So it's
Uh-huh.
like we were just this like random ass like group that would play like amidst all these metal bands, whatever. And then we got put on this show that Trop was on, and I had heard of them via like just the name, whatever, but like
Uh-huh.
didn't really know anything. And then they played, and I was just like, okay, wow, like there's another band in our city that's playing the kind of music that we're kind of doing, whatever.
Right.
So then we started doing a lot of shows with them. Eventually, Rhodes, our singer, called me one day, and he was just like, hey, like, do you play the trombone? And I was like, no. And he's like, all right, never mind. He hung up the phone, and like looked at my dude next to me. I was like, because like, they were my favorite band. Like
Yeah.
after we played with them, like really got into them. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
Trop is my favorite band, like for a while. I looked at my buddy in the car next to me, Timmy, and I was just like, should I have lied? And he's like,
Yeah.
you should have lied. And then he called me back the next day, and he was like, do you want to learn? And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, so I met
Yeah.
him at a bar, and he just gave me a trombone that he had, and I just went home and fucking YouTubed it, and yeah, just
Learned
figured it
trombone.
out. Yeah, but that was
That's
like
wild.
I don't know, I got asked, like, granted, like, it wasn't like a big deal at the time to anybody like wasn't like in the scene or nothing, but like I
Right.
got asked to join my favorite band. So that was
Sure,
like, I remember
yeah.
calling my mom after that happened, just being like, "You're not gonna believe this, like whatever the fuck." Da da da.
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Oh, I never even like heard that." I was like, "Don't worry." I was like, "I made it now." I was
Yeah,
like, "I'm good." Like,
yeah.
we still have it. Like we all
Right.
got a lot of work to do, whatever. But it was just like I
No,
remember
that's
that day just
awesome.
being like, my favorite, like
Right.
Revolution could have called me and been like, "Yo, do you want to join our band?" And that would have been like amazing and psycho and crazy. But like,
yeah.
Trop, though they weren't that big, like was my favorite band. So
Right.
it didn't
Wow.
matter like how big they were, whatever. It was just that like
Yeah.
being asked to join any other band wouldn't have been as cool to me because that was just like, don't meet your heroes is like the real point.
Right.
No, I'm playing, but yeah, so I started doing that, and then Derek took a lot of time with me, our trumpet player, and like showed me how to play things and like, technique and things. And then after a couple practices and stuff, I was just like, I was like, I rap too. And then we had like a part in a song that they needed something. I just kind of like spit a little thing, and Rose was like, bet. And then I started just writing the music with him and writing lyrics. And getting because I wasn't even really like a rapper then either. Like I could rap, but I was like singing in punk bands, so it's just not what I was doing. But then fell in love with hip hop too now. Like I was like a late to the game in hip hop. Even like people trying to talk to me about like their favorite rappers and shit, and, like old school stuff. And I'm like, yo, like I do rap, but like, and I respect everybody else that does as well. But like I didn't have like a come up with rap. I was like listening to these people, listening to whatever. It's like I got into it after I started doing it. So it's like kind of like an interesting kind of.
I feel
dude, you're
that
really
way.
good at it. It's like really impressive.
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah,
it's thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. I was really cool just getting to like writing lyrics is like talking to the people, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
Like writing rap sometimes is like it's just straight talking, like literal talking. And it's like, I forget sometimes like when people like will like pay to come to one of our concerts, I'll just be like, damn, like whether they were consciously thinking this or not, like that person's like paying money to hear like what I have to say.
Right.
They trust that they're gonna like it because they like our band. It's like so it's like a responsibility though too.
Right,
Like
totally.
writing lyrics is like really serious to me, and like I take a lot of time with it, and like because it's like if people are listening, like you have a responsibility to say something worth hearing, and like I don't know,
Right?
It's like
No, I
try
get
and
it.
write for people as much as you write for yourself. Like it's therapeutic for me, but like I also try and think about like what are the people that are listening to me, like what do they need to hear, like what do they want to hear, whatever. It's just like trying to keep that like in mind, like with the writing and stuff.
For sure.
I love that, and that's why I like the scene is because like the music is all very heavily like reggae influenced, and one of the beautiful influences of reggae is having a music with a positive message. So I love that like all these bands in this scene, it's like I feel like they all sit down to write and they're like, I'm gonna write something that's gonna make people happy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I see that more in this genre than any other one.
No doubt.
And I think that's such a beautiful, awesome thing because it attracts people of all ages,
Yeah, hell yeah.
We have like 18-year-old fans that are super fans, and then we have like 50-year-old fans that are super fans, and it's because it's like, and then we have 3-year-olds singing Yes I.
That's what's so awesome to me about it is
awesome.
just that like because I was always just in like I said like punk bands or ska bands or like doing rap stuff on the side is very like genre oriented. Like if you like punk, you would have liked this band, or if you like rap, maybe you like what I do, whatever. But like I'm like what I like to say a lot is like I'm finally in a band that like my mom really likes. Like even if I wasn't in the band, like my mom likes that shit. And I was like, damn, I was like, I can like show it to like somebody's parents or like anybody. And it's just like it's just good music. And like the same with you guys too. Like a lot of other people in our scene, it's just like you don't have to like reggae or like other things, whatever. It's just like it's just for everybody, like it broadens that spectrum.
Honestly,
like it's for everybody. You know, it's like
yeah.
I think it's mature music, honestly. I think it's really mature.
Yeah, it's
Even
fun.
when
It's
we're
nice.
like yes I, I'm like I still think that.
I was thinking that when you were talking about, people really like they want to hear something, and I'm thinking we're giving them yes I.
like police on my back, like
showing
woo
up.
woo.
what's like that mindset there? Like Weed Man by you guys is like one of my favorite songs, and like it's kind of just like it's just a weed song, like like from the outside it's okay. Like
What do
a
you
reggae
mean,
band,
just a weed?
Well, so like a reggae band wrote a song about weed,
Right,
like
yeah.
like as we all
Surprise,
have a weed song, you know what I
surprise.
mean? But like I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was just like, damn, I was like, I'm gonna call my Weed Man right now and just be like, yo, dude, you're the shit. I was like, seriously, your verse of that, like, it fires me up. I'm just like, damn, like, my Weed Man is the man. And he's always hooking up, and he's always ready to go. It's just like, even taking something that like seems like insignificant, like or not as like important as we were saying, to like having that responsibility of like talking to people, like like maybe like a song about weed, which again like we all have, like isn't the most like prolific thing, but like we all have a fucking weed man, and like he's the shit, and like you should call him and tell him that. Like y'all reminded me to do that, and I called him. We went and hung out and smoked. I was like, damn, I had a good time with him. I did that because you wrote that song, so I went and kicked it with that dude. Like it's fucking badass. Like, so just say that, like, so just say something that's true. Like what I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like you write about whatever you want. Like what I'm saying. Like
I remember playing that for my weed man. He was stoked.
Dude, hell yeah! Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's amazing. Like I love that.
We just wanted to write because we were like, well, we're gonna have a weed song. That's just the way it is.
Every album, gotta do it.
And how do you do it differently? You know?
Right.
Like,
That's the
it
tough
took
part with the weed
It took a
songs.
while,
Yeah.
like a few tries, I think, to really like find a concept that was.
Yeah, but that's like
gonna
I like your
make
verse so much
sense.
in that because you talk about like not everybody can go to a dispensary. It's like you're like in Cleveland too, like still buying weed off the streets. It's like whatever. It's like to some people, like you can just go to a store or have a prescription even, and it's just all good. Where it's like we can literally like go to jail for having weed in our cars, like where we live. It's so like bizarre. It's like
you could
you
get pulled
people.
over.
Like it was sick. Like
You
I
could
love
get pulled
that
over
song.
in front of the dispensary here and still get popped.
Right, like
know?
it's crazy.
That's true.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, we get hit up from like weed dispensary people that are like, "That's my song. The song's about me, man." We're like, "Yeah, we know.
yeah,
We got
it
it for you, bud."
Hell yeah.
Fun stuff.
Hey, Greg, why don't you look at the time thing? What's the time? What? Actually, no, you have the timestamp. What is it right now?
We've got 50 minutes.
50 minutes. All right, cool.
We got a little
let's
bit
keep
more
talking
time.
for 10 to 15, 20 more
Yeah.
minutes, and then cut the shit. I'm not trying to edit fucking a Lord of the Rings size movie. Over
Usually
here.
at this time, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to ask a question I always like asking. James, what was your first impression of Kash'd Out?
My first impression of Kash'd Out was I remember when you guys got signed to Law.
Yeah, we both got signed at about the same time.
Yeah, we were right
Remember that.
after you guys, I think.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I remember that happening, and I mean, I must have like checked you guys out after that, whatever, and then we pursued going on Law as well because we liked you guys and all the other bands on it. So it was like it definitely was like hit home with us. It's like these are people we want to like associate and chill with. But my most like standout thing is that like when we play shows, especially like big festivals, we're the smaller bands on it. People don't know us yet.
Mm-hmm.
We go out and we talk to every motherfucker in that crowd with a sign, with the drums, with whatever, and we're like, "Yo, come see us play at this
Yeah.
house, whatever."
Yep.
And then we got to Reggae Rise Up, and y'all were already doing it. We were like, "Oh, let's go get our signs." And you guys were already out there with your signs doing it too. I was like, "Man, those motherfuckers work."
Our show
Yeah.
was
That's,
Sun.
that's what we
Same,
talked
dude.
about that whole tour that we did too. We were just like, "Yo, like, we have a lot of like peer bands that are awesome." And
That's
everything
what I
too, but
love.
it's like, you know, like we make that effort when we go out to these shows. It's just
Right.
like, you know, you can't hit a certain level and then like stop doing your own self promotion or stop whatever. Like play
Right.
Big Dog, be like I don't need to go out and do that. I need whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and we could be headlining the festival and we'd still be walking around, and be like, "Yo, come see us, come see us, come see us." Like I saw
Absolutely.
you guys doing that, and I was like, "Fucking bet!"
We
Like you know,
did-
what I mean,
yeah.
That- that's what it's all
Dude,
about. Like,
We saw the
Likewise,
same
man.
and like
thing.
aside from that,
We
like
love that.
getting them to come to your set, like y'all just taking the time to talk to the people that came to see
Right.
you, because like I don't know, I always say like if you go see your favorite band play like at a concert, like you don't get to meet them. That's like not a thing. Like maybe you get lucky and like you'll catch them like somewhere or whatever, but like
Uh-huh.
if you go see whoever play at a show, like it's just a as a attendee, you don't get to meet that band. But like if you go to a Kash'd Out show or you go to a Tropidelic show,
Yeah.
if you want to, like we'll be at that table ready to take a picture, sign anything, and talk to you until
Absolutely.
they throw you out. And like,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's something that's like always got me is that like that's like an obligation you have. Like those people are
Totally.
literally paying our bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like how dare we not take that time to take a picture or sign something or talk,
Yeah.
whatever. And like I've seen y'all do that like since the beginning, and that's just
Always.
like super important to me. Just like that's what it's all, like that's literally what it's about. Like you know what I
Right.
mean?
That's
Like,
I say that that's the job, you know. Like when we watch you guys do that, I'm like, oh fuck, like these guys know. Like this is why these guys have all of these tours. Like this is why these guys are working. It's because when they go to a place and they work hard, they bring the fans in. And look, you were talking about like being nice to hospitality and everyone, dude. It's like that's the way to do it. Like be thankful for everything around you, and people are gonna like to work with you.
yeah,
and
they'll
people
be
gonna say
excited when
nice
you
things
come back
about
and
you.
they'll
It's
remember you,
amazing.
and it's like
And then you're excited to see them because you're like, oh, you guys are awesome, good.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
or it's like you'll make like friendships with like people that come to shows,
Always.
whatever, and then you'll see them at other shows and like things, whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, if I go see a band play and I really like them, and then I go home and I'm like to my roommates or something, I'm like, yo, like, you guys got to check out this band. They were so sick. Like, chances are they're not gonna look it up.
Right.
But if like
Yep.
if you make like buddies with somebody and they're cool and you have a good time, and that person goes home, and they're like, yo, I saw this band. They're amazing. You got to check them out. These are my boys. Like, listen, like
Right.
that goes further. Where it's like I had this
Totally.
conversation. Like, I'm friends with these guys.
Mhm.
Check out my friend's band,
You,
not check
Right.
out this random band. Like
Right.
it helps build that like family thing that like all
Totally.
of our bands have like super accomplished. Which is like our
Yeah.
fans are like a
fan.
force to be reckoned with. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like, and they all hang with each other and do things, whatever. So you create that community that like
Yeah.
you surround yourself with. You know?
If you think about like why people buy merch, like a lot of times it's to commemorate that experience. And like,
Absolutely.
we do
a
that to
memento.
make. We're just putting that, that's the icing on the cake that we can put on. Is like,
Yeah.
let's go meet them and talk to them.
We're the icing, is what Greg's saying.
we're making.
They're
that,
a bunch of cakes.
Frosty baby. Hell yeah.
I could relate anything to cake if I want to.
We go
Yeah.
out there and we ice them up. Basically,
Dude, you got it. Like, you just.
I'll do anything for the fans. Like, well, one of my favorite things to do is to have everyone sign something for someone. You know,
Yeah,
they'll
dude,
be
you
like, "Do you
go
want it
way
signed?"
out of your way.
I'll be like, "I'm gonna run to everyone right now. They're in 4 different places in this venue, but I'll run to you because we're all here right now, and this is the only moment we get to do this,
Absolutely.
and we'll do it." And guess what? That person, I'll see him at the next fucking show,
Yeah.
and I will be so fucking grateful.
Right. Exactly. No, it's so important. Just like making people feel like a part of the experience, because they are. Like, it's
Right,
not making
yeah.
them feel like it's just like, I don't know. It's just like you said, like you ran to get signatures signed, even though they're in 4 different places. Well, like that person like screamed the entire set, like excited.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
It's the least we can fucking do. Is
Totally,
like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
That's-
nothing without that. Like,
That's
Yeah.
It's part of our experience too, is to meet them and to be.
yeah.
That's what we came there to do. We traveled so far.
Right. Well, it's fun for us too. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like if you play and you
This
just go
happened,
backstage
yeah.
and go back to the bus, it's just like, you know, some days you have days like that. We're just tired.
Right.
Like, you
Tour
need to just
days.
be ourselves, but it's just like, I want to go talk to the people that watch the show. Like,
Right.
what's the fucking point if I don't? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Right,
like, what'd
yeah.
you think? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like
So
maybe some sort of sick validation thing in my head, even. But it's just like, you know, you want to talk to those people. You want to hear the feedback. You want to whatever. Like,
Sure.
you know, like,
Henry Rollins from Black Flag, he said this in an interview. He said, like, dude, I went to Ohio. He was like, I went to fucking some bumfuck place in Tennessee, and I played this show, and I talked to this fan. And it was this 14-year-old kid, and he was like, why are you in this bumfuck town? He was like, I'm in this town to see you. And he's like, I came to this show to see exactly you and talk to you. And it's like, that's how it's supposed to be. It
Hell
is
yeah.
personal. It's so personal, and it's so face-to-face. And when
Right.
we get to give that experience, it's awesome. Because that's experience coming from fans ourselves.
oh yeah,
It's almost like we see that. Like, here's the thing. I don't think I am the type of person that would go to a show, and if I see a musician and the band playing out, I don't think I'd approach them. I'd be like, look, I don't want to bother them. I know they're popular. I don't want to be another fly on the wall, you know?
sure, yeah.
But like, dude, Greg taught me this like the first week of shows, and it was an awesome lesson. Like, I couldn't take compliments when I first joined the band. I hated compliments. Because I'm like, you know, I don't want to hear that. But Greg's like, look, man, it takes courage for someone to go up to you and like say that.
Yeah,
And you should reward that by being grateful at least.
absolutely.
To at least being like, dude, thank you. That's awesome. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I lack courage in that. Because I'm like, I'm not going to talk to those people. Are you
Right,
kidding
yeah.
me? I wouldn't do that. But then the people coming up to me, playing, you know, being like, your bass playing sick. And I'm like, you don't even know me, but holy shit, thank you. And it really
Right.
is awesome.
I saw CeeLo Green at the last show, actually.
You saw CeeLo Green at the
CeeLo
last
Green was
show?
there? Orlando?
Not at our show. So I had gotten a hotel room right by our show,
Yeah.
and in the lobby was CeeLo Green.
Shut the
Wait,
fuck up.
Greg,
That's
wait,
great.
Greg. You never brought this up to us.
Yes, I did.
Did you hear about this?
He mentioned it to me. I gotta
Hit
go
him
take a
up,
piss,
let's
but talk
go.
about
I
CeeLo
love
Green.
CeeLo Green.
Hell yeah.
I have all of Nars Barkley's
I love him
albums.
too.
I have CeeLo Green. Wow. Wow. Greg, you're so crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't. But
Jackson's
I
not
choked
here.
up.
We can say all sorts of crazy shit.
No, I choked up. Like I like didn't want to. I didn't know what. I'm like, I don't want to bother him. Like, he's in the lobby. Nobody's bothering him. He's with his like little posse, and but it's clearly him. And like I was so torn, and I went through what a fan I must go through. And,
Yeah.
and I didn't say anything, and I regret it. And then like I came back down to go to the show, and there's like somebody there with his picture, like waiting. Somehow they figured out that he was there, and like it. I don't know, dude. I felt that. I
Yeah.
felt that shit.
That's wild.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so now I know it was hard, dude. You like know that person, and especially it's different. They came to our show and they still like get anxiety about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just stumbled upon CeeLo Green.
Yeah, you weren't even ready to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, at first I was like, "Is that him? Sure looks like him." And I heard him say like, "Oh no, baby!" I'm like, "That's
That's
him."
Oh, what a great singer. He's
Yeah,
really
man.
got a great voice.
Yeah, I wish I would have said something, and
That would have been cool.
I would just like really I want to like write songs with him, and
Yeah.
how can I cram
honestly.
that into 2 seconds?
Well, that's
when
what's
he's
so
about
hard,
to
too,
get on
is,
the
like,
elevator.
Because you have like the note, or like the idea of like somebody meets like an artist they like, and like they'll be like, oh check out my music, or check out this, like I do this too, whatever.
That's
And
how
it's,
Marilyn
like,
Manson came
it's
about.
hard to like meet people like as like a peer, where like you just want to be like, I'm just here to tell you that I fuck with what you do. Also, I do this as well. Like, So check it out. So it's like a weird line of just like, I don't want to seem like a fanboy, but I also don't want to seem like I'm trying to like plug my shit or like whatever. But I really resonated with what you said about like when people give you compliments. Like, I mean, I've just had like so many bad days on tour where like in my head I was just like, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm like, you know, just upset with yourself.
I've abandoned my family.
Right. Just like any kind of
I'm
thing
eating
where you're just, like,
McDonald's and my
upset,
my
like-
sister's studying in school. What the fuck am I doing?
Exactly.
I'm hitting 1-4-5 patterns on the bass.
But so then like you talk to like, you know, people come up to you and they'll be like just super excited to meet you and they'll tell you like, this song means this to me, this means this to me, and like
that's
you said this in your song and like that, right? Like these people just like they gash you up and they tell you like how like awesome they think you are and how you should keep doing what you're doing, and like in your head you're just like, man, like you don't know me and like you don't want to be like me and you don't want to do like these things that like you're praising me for, like kind of whatever, like so like, you take it in stride of just that like you accept the compliments but like you feel like you're unworthy of them in like a lot of ways, but like that's like a good thing as well. That's like helped me is like when that happens and I feel like unworthy, it's like a responsibility to like be the person that like your biggest fan thinks you are, and it's just like take that with you in every decision they make every day. It's just that like if somebody knew that like the dude from Trop or the dude from Kash'd Out was doing this, like how would that affect your thing? Like it wasn't like anything like that. It's like, how would that affect like that? So it's like when people like do gas you up and give you all these comments, whatever, it's important to accept them and thank them profusely because again, like it takes that courage for them to give it to you, but also it's like a reminder to be like, if this person like thinks that I'm this, then I am like to them. So it's like, so I have to be like that. Like I have to be thoughtful and kind and whatever. And you know what I mean? It's just like a reminder to be like, if people are going to look up to you, then you have that responsibility to be somebody like worth looking up to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is something that like keeps me in check, like in a lot of levels of life, like any kind of thing. Like,
I like, you could say I have an ego and I like feeding it. So these shows are a lot of fun for me.
If you're in the music industry, it's all ego, but we're all looking for some sort of validation.
It's like when you play bass, you do this.
talk.
But when I play bass, I do it like this.
Yeah,
you know,
you got to give them the show though
too.
too.
On the fan.
Yeah, I love giving the show, dude. My whole life. Dude, I feel bad for Jackson and Gray because they're like tied to like the pedal board and vocals.
Yeah, man.
And it's funny because it's like during the big parts of the song when we're all playing loud and strong, they're in their stations filling it up sonically, and I get to fill it up by hitting one note and jumping up and down and being goofy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, during the coolest parts of the song, these guys have to be like on top of it and like delivering it.
When I got a wireless mic, like my own, instead of using like the venue mics, whatever, I was just like, bitch, I was like running across the whole place, whatever. It's just like, like,
dude, it's so cool to see. I mean, because like Joey does that same sort of like way over deliver kind of thing that you guys do
all
too.
All day.
And it's like, dude, it just makes me happy to see, man, you know? And like we were talking about it before we did that run with you guys, and we were like, man, like this is just gonna be like a cool show, like from start to finish. It's just gonna be cool, man.
Well, what's worse than like going to see like one of your favorite bands too, and then like even if they sound great, like
no
they're
energy.
Just standing there playing it. It's like, fuck. Well, that's even like, you know, you could play a show like one day on tour to like 1,000 people, and then the next day you play to 10, and it's like even if it's just those 10 people, like those 10 people like came to see this show, like. How dare we not go as hard? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go as hard for 5 people as you do for 5,000 because it's like, we get this every day. Like, they get this today. And it's not their fault there's not a million people there, whatever. Like, how dare you not go hard for all of them? Like, even if it's just 5 people, whatever. Like, it's got to be like,
I learned to go hard. I learned how to go hard for a lot of people by going hard for a small amount of people.
Hell yeah.
Because if there's 40 people there, I'm like, dope. I'm going to get fucking 20 of them. I'm going to get 20 of them, and then half of those 20 are going to go to merch. And we're going to sell merch to those fucking 10 people.
Hell yeah, man.
And then we're going to come back, and we're going to have those 10 fucking people at every show there.
No doubt.
And I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to fucking do some play, dude.
It's like a different experience too from
shit.
From like when you're opening and you're going on like your first few shows or first few tours, or even like when you're opening any tour, you know? And it's like, okay, so some of these people, especially early on, these people don't know our band, and we need to win them over, is like it's a different sort of thing than these people paid to come see our show. Like as a headliner, we have to make this worth their money. You know,
I almost like it more as the opener.
I
in the
do
sense of
too,
just, like,
man.
Well, because it's a challenge too.
It
where it's
is,
just, like,
yeah.
You walk up on stage and it's like a packed house, and they're just waiting for the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, let's just get through this opening band, whatever. And then like you get going, and then like you watch people's faces change. To where it's just
Right.
like I watch these people look at me like, what the fuck's this? And then like
Uh-huh.
2 songs in, they're like, what the fuck is this? Like
Yeah,
going hard.
yeah.
Like, you get to like win those people over and like see it actually happen. Like
Yeah.
see somebody who's not caring. And then all of a sudden watch them like at the table at the end of the night being like, yo, I never heard you, whatever. It's like, it's
Right.
more fun to do that.
It
Like, you know
is,
what I mean? It's
man.
like, it's a challenge. It's like,
It's-
you got to earn it, you know?
Yeah, dude.
true,
Too,
it's
and
true.
then there's also like it's just like a different pressure, I think, you know, because like when you're headlining, it's like at the end of the night, always, at least for me, I'm just like, man, I hope everybody had a good time. Like I hope this was worth. I mean, they had to. A lot of people get the ticket and then get a babysitter and maybe
request
get a
work off,
hotel,
Exactly,
take off
yeah.
work. I mean, fly in maybe. Some people
Yeah.
do that kind of. You know what I
For
mean?
sure,
So
yeah.
it's like.
I don't know why we looked at each other when you said fly in. You said fly in, and Greg and I were like, yeah, we get that.
Drones.
We always drones, dude.
There's this part in Weedman in the video where it says drones. Joey and I look at each other and we say drones, but you can't hear it.
Yeah.
Video.
Drones. And
Yeah, yeah.
even live, dude, it's so funny. It's like, so Greg, when Nick says get a drone, grab it rapidly, Greg he pretends he's an airplane. And in my head, he's going, ooh. So like, only like during this tour, I'm like, fuck it. I want to do that with Greg now. So I stopped playing bass during that part of the
Now
song
we
now,
got a
just so I can
fleet.
be like this. Yay.
Oh, what's the Blue Angels?
That's right. We're the Blue Angels, Greg. We're the High Angels, dude.
That's right.
Green Angels on stage, dude.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
Oh, so we totally cut you off. Jackson.
So
I'm
that's
sorry.
all good. I was just saying that so almost like a little like it's like a different kind of pressure from when you open up and then when you're like closing it out, you know, of
Yeah.
you know, I just think that there's something, even though like obviously like headlining it is where you ultimately need to be, like there's something about opening it and just like you said, like seeing their faces change and
Yeah.
you know, feeling like okay, like we won the crowd over, you know, like
Yeah.
afterward it's just like a different kind of thing, you know what I mean?
And those shows are so important too, because it's
Right.
like you throw a headliner and it's a rage, a bunch of people come, but they all came to see you, and that's
Right.
amazing and it's awesome. But like you're the opening band, like that's where you're making new fans.
Right,
That's
and you're
where
growing.
beefing up your own headlining shows. Like doing
Yeah.
your headlining
Yep.
show is awesome, but that's like the example of like what are we worth in this town? Here are
Right.
these people, this is what we're worth. But you
Mhm.
go there, you've never been there, maybe you have, but you're opening. It's just like this is a whole fresh batch of people that like at the end of the night are gonna fuck with me, like 'cause I'm
Right.
gonna make sure of it. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Hell
the shows
yeah.
are more important. Like that's what builds the fan base. That's what
Right.
gets it going. Like showing up those places where they don't know who you are. They don't like.
Yeah.
You
I
know what
love that feeling when you have them.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You know it.
Hell yeah.
Like you got them, and it just feels so good. And then boom, it's over.
Yeah.
Get the fuck off stage.
And then you're loading shit out and you're
Yeah.
wrapping cables and you're like,
You're like, I
man,
had 'em,
that
man."
was fun.
Yeah. I like
I
doing that
know.
too, where it's like you go on stage and like if you're opening and like nobody knows who you are, and like say we like open up with a song where like I'm playing the trombone and like a song or two goes by and I haven't like rapped yet and I'm just like the kid with glasses playing trombone and then all of a sudden I like put it down and like pick the mic up like before I start and I see a lot of faces too just go, wonder what he's gonna do.
Oh,
And start rapping. It's just like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just like,
That's
just
cool.
keep surprising
Deliver
them.
it,
Just
man.
keep fucking like,
You get a
it's
good
like,
delivery.
your
right there, that's
delivery
true.
on it is so good, dude.
oh, thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Those are
like
Trom bars.
so committed, man. It's awesome.
Thank
It's,
you, man.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
really great.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, just super thankful just to have the position to be at a level to where I can, to where practicing it was worth it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Just like,
yeah.
I always like could kind of do it, and then like I was like, damn, like this is kind of getting for real. Like
Mhm.
I never ever thought this is like what I was gonna get to do. Like I always
Right.
wanted it, and like I had planned to get a job, do whatever. Like I made a plan for my normal life that like
Right.
I've just been like running from because I want to do this, and like every day is just like a gift in that regard on the road, even on the shitty days, because it's just like it could all end tomorrow, and like
Yeah.
I never ever ever thought it would go this far, and like so it's,
Yeah.
it's all a
Amazing.
gift. You know what I mean? Like the fuck, boys, like we play music, and that's how we make our money. Like
living the
go.
dream,
Cool.
dude.
Let's go. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
always
like,
say living the dream, and I
living the
know it's
dream, like-
corny. Even managers may even say, "Hey, Joey, stop saying living the dream." but it's like, dude, I am living it, and I'm lucky. And even if I'm eating French fries after a show, and I'm exhausted, but I have to stay awake for my driver, like I'm still living the dream.
shitty
you
day on
know?
the road is way better than the best day at work. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like, let's go.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, what a blessing.
I feel like that's a good summary, like a good note to end
Yes.
this on.
I feel the same.
It's a good
Yeah.
note.
Yeah.
But today was a good day at work. I'll say that. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks
I
for
had a
being
great
here,
day
man.
Wednesday, yo. I love you guys, man. Seriously, and like, I'm so glad we got to kick it as hard as we did on the last tour because like we've been boys before that, but like
Yeah.
got to spend some time together.
We
and like,
finally got to really be like, what do you smell like?
now, I'm a huge fan of you guys, and I'm a huge fan of your music.
Dude,
So it's like, this is
likewise,
awesome,
man. It
like,
absolutely
same.
goes
Yeah.
both
Hell yeah.
ways.
Thanks so much
man.
for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Go
Anytime,
check
you're
out
welcome.
Trop's new album, Of Illusion, right?
Of Illusion, yep.
Check it
Available
out,
everywhere.
man.
Dope.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
they're gonna release a sequel of it called Of Illusion 2.
Probably not, but maybe now. I mean,
All right. Thank you guys.